Hello and welcome, guys, to our live crypto analysis. Money Mike's here with another video and another analysis. All right, guys, so huge big weekend gains to come. Okay, we've just seen Bitcoin hit the 48. Now, as I said to you guys with the analysis that we looked at over the weeks, I hope you're following every day. Just take the opportunity now, if you're not subscribed to us, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we're going to have a live crypto analysis. And on top of that, guys, I'll be going live on Insta and doing analysis on there. So I'll be doing live crypto analysis on there. And so if you want to follow on Insta, I'll be doing some special stuff on there too. So follow up the gram, the Real Money Mics. Okay, check us out, follow us. Also, if you want FX analysis, definitely jump onto the Wealth Group Academy Insta and YouTube channel, subscribe there if you want FX analysis, if you're a Forex trader or you're interested in Forex. And definitely a shout out again. We have our Wealth server now. We have our Ultimate Trade Copier. All right, I just posted a video literally just now, 6K plus profit for the day. It's been a fantastic day so far on pound Japanese yen. So if you want to see the breakdown on that, our senior coach Alexandra will be breaking that down for you. I put them on both channels, so you can check the Wealth Group Academy channel and also the Wealth server. Give it some love, put some thumbs up, and let's go. So where are we, guys? Now we're approaching a very important area again, and it looks like the price is breaking past now. The analysis that we went through has played out perfectly here. So for those of you who are not too familiar with what that is, I'll go through it. All right, so on Bitcoin right here, this is one of the most important order blocks again. This is a daily demand zone that was instrumental in the price reaching from where it was back in March all the way to the all-time high that we saw in April. When we had the first pullback on price, it was a natural pullback here. The price pulled back to this order block right here. We had a long, but the long strength wasn't enough, or the demand strength wasn't enough to sustain the move. And we saw the price reverse and break down even further lower. And so now we've come back to this area since where we were from April in May. And so the market is letting us know that we're in levels of demand, okay, and of bullish liquidity that we haven't seen since these times. Now, again, on the more smaller time frame, even though this is still macro because we're on the D1 time frame, there's this important supply zone area here. This supply order block was instrumental in the short, and we saw from May all the way down into July, the price had used this area and other supply zones similar to push the price down to where we were. Now, in August, around August the 8th, we had the first break back above supply here, and then a return here with a very strong push for a long. Now, this reoptimization for supply as a demand zone, again, the key to see the structure here, or the key structure we should be looking at, is right here. So if I start from the swing that is beneath here, which was formed from the demand zone created, I'm going to start up for this here. So this swing low right here represents the A swing. And then we had a very strong spike up to the B swing. Now the body close above these highs here lets us know that the bullish liquidity and demand on the market is very strong. And so when we had this pullback, I mean, for some people, they thought that there was a crash, but I just want you guys to pay attention to the candlesticks. If you can take anything home today, if you want to start doing some analysis off the get-go, something that Money Mics can teach you, is this. We had a very strong bullish candle, which took out 4 highs. And on the way back, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days for the price to reverse and come back and fill out basically the distance of 1 day. All right. So this is why you see that when the bullish momentum has picked up again, we're going very strongly towards the 50 mark, which I said we will do. Now, again, there are other areas of demand that we'll be looking at now. For selling, for those of you who are familiar with supply and demand, supply order blocks or supply zones are areas for selling and demand zones are areas for buying. However, when the market flips direction from a bullish to a bearish bias or vice versa, then some supply and demand order blocks will become used instrumentally to flip order books the other way. So this is one of those examples. Now we're still in this area, okay, even though the bullish structure is nicely set out here. So if I was to draw this again, just for you guys to get the hang of it. Now, if you're not familiar with my live analysis or how I analyze, if you see me use a capital letter, I'm talking about macro swings on the higher time frame, so daily and above. All right, so from here we have the A to B movement. Here is the C swing that we've had going on from here. All right, and from this point right here, price action moving forward, I'm expecting the price to give us a very strong long. Now, Going back to the all-time high, I would like to see a bit more of the price action moving forward. We still have other areas to look at. Once the price is broken past here, really what would be a great success is for the price to clear $51,000. Once we get to the 51K mark here, and the body of the candle closes not past just this demand zone, but also this one here, then the price will be clear to move towards the next limiting area, potential limiting area for the price to possibly reverse, which is at 53,519. So from what I can see here, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. The price is very strongly bullish and the momentum is high. Now, I'm not looking at on-chain analytics at the moment, but definitely I can see that from just the charts that the on-chain activity and long-term hodling patterns seem to be more towards the bullish favor right now, and nobody wants to sell. All right. I'm looking at this right now, and I'm definitely noticing the altcoins are flying too. And again, guys, if you have anything you want me to look at, if you have any cryptos you want me to have a look at, please let me know, and I will definitely have a look at it. And we can go from there. So if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. Just give a shout there, and I'll definitely be doing some analysis there. All right. So anyway, let's have a look and see what's going on with the rest of the market. So I'm going to break down Bitcoin here. Let's see where we are. I have my charts open already, but I'll do a fresh one just for the fresh Fridays. All right. Let's have a look here and see what's going on. So I'm going to go to the H1 price action here, and let's have a look. So intraday, or what have we had? Now, I said to you that this reversal was a short-term one. So let's just recap of what exactly we were looking at. So I'm going to use the 15 minutes to explain the order block that we were looking at for the short, which was here. So we had a reversal signature form over the weekend. The price pulled back into the area. Now, an area of supply was created, which is the principal supply for this move. And we saw the return back into this order block and then the reversal short. So this on the higher time frame up here, if you're not too sure, is the B swing. And the movement we saw down here was the retracement. Now, retracements are necessary, guys. They always will happen because people are always buying and selling. Not everybody is hodling Bitcoin to the moon or to 1 million as we expect it to go to. Some are selling off Bitcoin, some others are buying. Different things are taking place. So there's always going to be a natural buying and selling, selling momentum depending on, and also an overall, trend as to what price is doing. Now, where we are right now, this was the demand zone that I was most interested in on the H1 perspective. And the reason is because this demand zone really was the trigger for the highest point that we've seen in the market since the crash. And then seeing the short happen as a retracement, this would have been the perfect target zone for us to reload for a long, because the market order book will be strongest here for demand, and we could use it for our trade. Now, now it's 2 days before now, but I believe on Wednesday when we did this live, the price had got here and it seemingly looked like the price was ready to launch off. But as I said, market order books, supply and demand, they will never change. Those are things that are solidly set in stone when it comes to financial markets. Why am I saying this? So when the price spiked here, we didn't get the return inside of the zone. We had the return at the zone. So the price didn't return fully into the H1 demand. So when the price took off long, I did give a shout and say that I personally wouldn't take this trade. I'll wait until tomorrow. And so we see, now I'm from the UK, if you can't tell by my accent already, but coming up into Friday, we saw the price push up long, and then we had the return into demand. So we saw the price getting into this area of liquidity so that it can actually have enough price velocity to take off. And we noticed a very different reaction from this movement to this movement. If you notice, first movement here, we had quite a lot of spiking, price pushed back, and then we had a short-lived long, which was swallowed up quite quickly by the bearish side of the market. Now, some probably would have seen this as another retracement, as an A to B swing, and then C, I would have been buying. Bad idea. Wait for the liquidity in the market to give you where it needs to, or where it's trying to go to. So as the prices dip back into demand right here, guys, prices push very strongly long, and we've seen some very strong bullish candles. And as you can see, as a result, from yesterday, once the price returned that final time, it's never come back. So this is an absolutely beautiful example of what it means. Now, of course, if you're an investor, this charts will still mean something to you. Now, if you haven't watched these videos, please watch part 1 and part 2. Part 3 will be coming very soon. I'm looking to look into level 2 data and some things to help you guys. But I would say right now, in all seriousness, guys, if you really want to be a trader or trade Bitcoin or trade Bitcoin futures, if you don't have understanding of market order books and market manipulation, please try your best not to go into it. I'm just being honest. The reason I'll say that is because there is a very good chance that you could be stopped out many different times, especially, if you're trading against an exchange or you're weighted against them every time you earn, they lose, and etc. So you don't want to get into the markets and not know what you're doing. So please watch part 1 and part 2 of these videos. They're called why you will not survive the crypto market in 2021 without this skill. Please go and check it out and learn some property, and I'll be very happy with your comments also. All right, so where are we right now? So we've just had a very strong spike. The momentum's built over the night into Asia, and now we've seen a very strong movement. In the crux of the US session, prices giving us a very good long. Now, one thing I do love about crypto is that it is affected by certain pieces of news, but it's more fundamental than data news doesn't affect crypto unless the data is to do with some sort of data release that comes out on the crypto. But secondly, because it's a 24/7 market, we have room for us to be able to look at things at all time. We're not restricted by, market closures, market open. Every single day, crypto is open for business, which is absolutely revolutionary. So crypto for me as a trader who trades Forex is a very lucrative opportunity. Now, not to chase the market, but if you wanted to make some good profit over the weekend, you've got nothing to do, you can jump on the charts at any time and take advantage of the movements of Bitcoin, which is absolutely beautiful, unhindered by anyone. All right, so where are we right now? So we've broken past this, very important area of supply. And now that the price is broken past here, the price is retracing, and I do expect it to probably retrace on the other side of supply and then take off again. And we should see a very strong continuation long, which gives us signs for the 50K mark. All right. So over the weekend, guys, I'm expecting to see this bullish momentum continue. Right now, the trend is very strongly bullish, and I can see that things are warming up very quickly. So I would say keep your eyes peeled. We have a lot of upside potential. Over the weekend here, there are some scalps available, and I'm just giving you a trade entry now. If you're trading over the weekend and you want to capture along, now, I did a challenge a long time ago. I didn't record it, but I turned £9 into £188 at the beginning of the bull market. And very simply, I was using Hugo's way and trading Litecoin. Because at the time, I think Litecoin's margin was 20p. So you could put 0.03 or 4 for about just under £1. All right. So for those of you who are not too familiar with margin trading, okay, you need a certain amount every time you take a trade. It's kind of like a refundable deposit that doesn't get deducted from your account, but just from your balance for a moment. So let's say you have £1,000 and you want to trade Bitcoin with a certain position size, which we call lot size. So if you want to trade Bitcoin at 0.01, so every time the price moves in your favor, you earn 1p. Now, if you do that calculation here, I'll give an example of what this looks like. So from this bottom part here, from the trade I called up to here, is 461,000 and 461,010 pips. Okay, so if you do that times 1p, you basically, if you took this trade, you would earn 400. And I'll put this out there for you. I've got a risk management tool. So if we do this right here, if you had an entry back down at the bottom here, and you had the trade all the way somewhere here. Now, depending on what your exchange rate is, it depends. But approximately, you'll be earning something along the lines of, now the exchange rate, because of the US dollar, the price may vary, but you earn, in this case, $332. So roughly around about 0.8 for every 1p, approximately something like that. Now, the margin, in order for me to be able to take this trade, I need to have at least £35.49 in my account. And of course, you can't just have 39.49, 35.49 because you need more. So at least you need about £100 in your account to take this trade. But if you took this trade and you took the signal, then you would be right now with £332. So 3x on your account right now. So this is how it works in short. I'll be doing more videos on this, and then we can go from here. So here's the weekend trade, guys. So on the 5-minute time frame, there's a 5-minute order block here, which the price is spiking to now. In a few moments, the price is going to pull back here, and I believe from here we are going to see a very strong long erupt again. All right. The lower down area here, if I pull this right here, I'm always looking at spikes and wicks. There is another demand order block not too far away. Now the price is coming back down here, and you have about 30 minutes before the price is going to pull back here. If you get this, this is the re-entry to go for a long. And I believe over the weekend, we're going to see some crazy exponential movement. All right. Now, weekends, when it comes to the market, you have to think about market psychology and also times of the world. Now, for the weekend, all right, because crypto is not shut, okay, business continues as usual. So over the weekend, especially when the market is heavily bullish and we've had a very strong recovery in price, that's going to trigger market psychology for buying. And so over the weekend, I expect buying volumes to continue, probably even increase more because people have even more time to sit down and actually buy. So all of that volume generated over the weekend should push the market even higher over the weekend. And this is why I'm looking for some big weekend gains. Okay, Bitcoin has no chance of pulling back down. The only thing it will do is probably retrace. Now, the futures liquidations will have some effects here. If many of the shorts have been liquidated too, but it's not more than the longs, then we're going to see even more bullish pressure happening. So we have some really good metrics in our favor, and I expect Bitcoin to make some serious movements up. Now, again, I'm still looking at the higher time frame structures. So for me, I'm watching carefully to see what's going to happen once the price breaks past here. It looks very clear to me now that the price is going to break past here, even today, especially on that retracement. You got the trade now, so you know what to do. But I want to see how far the price can get. Can we get the 53 mark? Now, if you were to take this trade, my first target as an intraday trade, or even a day trade, because it might happen from here to here, is going to be this area here. Now, if you took this trade using Hugo's way, that's a quick 360. Yeah, quick 360 flip on your account right there. Stop loss of £23 gives you 360. So we're looking at a risk to reward here of on average about 1 to 18 risk to reward. Now, if the price attempts to get to the all-time high, now all the price would really need to do for there to be no resistance to the all-time high, no barriers to it, would be for the price to break past this last supply zone before the short, really, which is here. If the price gets here, guys, then I do think that we're definitely going to see the price get to the all-time high. Now, just as a prerequisite, okay, speaking about all-time highs, one of the most common market movements that would occur is that when the price, especially for something like Bitcoin, you have to understand that this short coming along the way it did is not the normal expectation that people were looking for when it comes to the bull market that we're having this year. So this bullish market that we're having for crypto at the moment, the high right here, there must be somebody there. I'm sure there's a few 100,000 people in the world who bought Bitcoin right at the top. Now we know Bitcoin is going to continue moving, but in terms of recovery, a lot of people who have put money into crypto and are somewhat emotional. When the price gets back to the all-time high, that may be a trigger for people to want to sell. Okay, some people just want to break even and get out because the emotional roller coaster of the price going from 64, down to 29 is just too much for them to bear. So at the same time, I'm doing the same thing here, where I do think that the price will do this kind of formation here. We might get a bit of a sell-off, and then after that, we launch for the long, and the rest is history. Okay, so I believe Bitcoin can definitely get to 100K this year. And if we just look back here, I am going to show you this, guys, because I think this is important to rehash over again. But if I show you guys, okay, the golden ratio, I'm going to put this here. So I'm going to load up TradingView quickly before I continue with this analysis and just show you what I'm talking about. So when we're looking at the ratio for Bitcoin here, share the screen quickly. I hope you guys can all see this. So if I pull this up here and I hit play as to where we are. Now, where we are at the moment, okay, we have had 3 bull cycles and 2 bear cycles at the moment. Now, starting from the first one, the common denominator here is that with Bitcoin's algorithmic coding, which Satoshi Nakamoto coded in place, every 4 years, the block rewards on the blockchain for Bitcoin, per block decreases. Okay, and this is supposed to decrease supply and increase demand over time, which gives some of the features that we see with Bitcoin for store of value, minus just the 21 million max supply. But anyway, when it comes to Bitcoin and what we have with the halving, we've just had the third halving happen. The third halving we've had on Bitcoin right here was on, and I'm going to zoom in if I can. Probably can't zoom in, but I'll try to zoom in using Google Chrome instead. So the halving that we had right here, if we go follow the line, is right here, 18th of May. So on the 18th of May, I actually watched this. I have a Zoom recording because I thought that Bitcoin was going to spike to the moon that day. I was quite unaware of things, but we had a Bitcoin halving 18th of May, 2020. And that halving that we had, okay, looking at the cycle of what we have, usually 51% of the time before the halving happens, and then 49% after is where we see that exponential movement. And the exponential movement usually is in the last final throes of what we would see. Now, the first one, of course, would have been the most exponential because it will be the most volatile, the least amount of money was in there. So the movements were exponential and it was, you know, a new thing. So people were flocking to it. All right. Second cycle we've had here. All right. The price went down to about, and I'm going to put it right here. From this halving point, about $445, December 16th, sorry, 2016, December 19th. And we've gone all the way up to 20K, which we all famously know. The price pulled back again, has made another bottom. And so far, this is the bottom that has been recognized from 2019, where we had a bearish market until the price started to take off again. And then this is 3,718 just beneath. Now on this third halving here, now just to remind you guys, this is the coronavirus period, March. Okay, so the third halving that we had after the coronavirus period, we saw the price gently increase from where it is at 10K. Right now we're at 48,000. Now so far we had a high of 64. Okay, now the big difference between all of these cycles, or these first two cycles, and what we have right now is that the market was most of the time moving in one direction. We did have a crash on this the first one. The price dropped from, let's see here, 257 back down to about 46. But this was to do with the situation that happened with Mt. Gox. If any of, or around that period of time, Mt. Gox, we had crashes here, and then some of the other crashes that we saw in other exchanges around this period of time. Okay, but anyway, moving forward here, the second halving that we had, we really didn't see that all-time high already kind of created in the price pullback. So we have a very different scenario here, and I believe this was an attack on crypto anyway. But at the moment, from the halving that we had here from, let's say, 458, or let's call it $450 approximately to 20K, $450 to 20K, we're looking at about almost 50 times the lowest point after the halving. Now, the lowest point so far after the halving is about 10K. So 50 times that. This is why some are saying that Bitcoin could go to 500K even by the end of this bull cycle, which is very possible. Okay, when you think about the percentage numbers, it is very possible for Bitcoin to become something of that price value. All right. So it really does, for me, looking at what we have right here with this cycle, as a trader, a long-term swing trade long, if you can capture a good one, would be great. And a great entry to go for would be if the price starts to close above, if we have a daily close above the all-time high and then a retracement to it, then that will be a very beautiful signal to continue for a very strong long. I do think Bitcoin at least should be able to clear 100K very easily. And that's it. Now, remember, we have only, all right, just over 30 days left until we're supposed to see the bull cycle continue. And usually the massive movements happen at the end. So this delay that we've seen could end up becoming one delay before a massive movement, okay? So I would say to you guys that please keep your eyes peeled on what the market is doing. From the calculations, okay, again, 49%, now 51% equals to 518 days, right? So the 49% by calculation, because the algorithmic process is always so, the process of halving is every 4 years or just about every 4 years. If you do a calculation of what 49% is over 518 days, now if you want to calculate this for yourself and you're not too sure how to do it, just do 49 divided by 51 and then times that by 518. And that gives us 497 days. Now, of course, to calculate 497 days, excuse me, from May 18th, it might be a bit difficult, or 18th of May will be difficult to do. Easiest thing you can do is just do 497 and take away 1 year because we're in 2021. So 365, May has already gone. And we say that, okay, from that point of May 18th, we have 132 days. So 132 days. Now, I'm going to pull up something for you guys. I'm going to get the calculator for you guys to see because I do think it would help you guys to see this a bit better. So instead of me doing this on my phone, I'm just going to make a slight adjustment to the screen here. And let's do this. All right. So again, 18th of May, let's do the maths here. So we know that there's 51 days in the first aspect. Usually in the bull cycle, the first 51 days is the movement before the halving. So if I do this 51%, and then we know that's 518 days. On the other side, the movement towards the exponential movement before we enter the bear cycle is going to be the 49 divided by 51, okay, which is our ratio. And then we're going to times that number by 518 days. Now, this gives us 497.6 days. Now, we can't have 0.6 of a day. So let's just stick with 497, okay? Or we can round it to 498 because we have a 0.6. So 498, take away 365, that's 1 year. It leaves us with 133 days from May 18th, 2021. Now, May 18th, 2021, there's roughly about 30 days in a month, okay? So if we do divided by 30 right here, it's giving us a number of 4.43. So that means we have 4 months and then 0.43, so 0.4 or 40% of the 5th month, all right? So let's do this maths now. So I know this is mathematical, but we can be quite specific with timing the all-time high, because this is what we're discussing, because the all-time high happens really at the last throws before the bear cycle begins to happen. So if we look at this 18th of May, we've got to the 18th of May now, 2021. So 4 months if you count, so that will be, the next month will be June 18th, that's 1 month. And then the second month would be July 18th, 2 months. Now, August 18th just happened 2 days ago now, or for some of you, a day and a half ago. But August 18th, that's 3 months. September 18th equals to the 4th month. Now, the 0.4 would be, you know, basically 40% of 30 days. Now, September, how we would do this is quickly 30 days times by 0.4 gives us a value of 12. So if we do that value of 12, okay, so September 18th plus 12, we can say that by September the 30th, we should be really seeing the all-time high for Bitcoin. So September the 30th means that we literally from today have 40 days left. 40 days left, that's all we have. 40 days left approximately, give or take. And now the cycle is a Bitcoin spikes first and then the altcoins react after. So the spiking we see on Bitcoin by September 30th, then that means by when we get back into the markets or when we get back into a place for the altcoins, then a month after, in October, by October 30th, we should see the all-time highs of our crypto friends called altcoins. All right. So that calculation there, I hope that helps you, and why analysis right now is so important. And we should be paying attention to every move that we can see. So coming back to the charts here, I'm just going to quickly go through Ethereum and Ripple before I leave. And if there's any requests, you guys can post them. If you don't have any requests, then that's okay too. But just let me know. And then after we can go from there. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm back on Hugo's Way. Let's have a look and see what's going on with the rest of the markets here. All right. So let's see. All right. So what I'm going to do, let's have a look at Ethereum first. Let's pull it up. Where is it? All right. So Ethereum USD. Again, we spoke about Ethereum, and now I think we can see from the charts how really the pullback was a short-term one and not a longer-term swing. So right now, Ethereum is still balancing around where it started from in terms of the supply area here that it shorted from. But again, I believe that this is just a short-term short and that we are going to break past this area and continue. Simple reason is that the daily time frame structures is pointing towards the fact that we have supply, which is at the 3,300 range, which the price didn't really spike into before it went short. So this kind of shorting right here is just, I believe, partly due to the market effect of Bitcoin. And we are going to see the price rally to here. Now, this supplies order block is a very strong one. We had a very strong short from here. But in this current momentum that we are in, I do believe that the price can break past and start to go towards 3,700 and then towards 39. Now, I just want to note this out. If you use the weekly structure here, the last supply is onto the left. Remember, because we're in a new space, a lot of the times when the market is making new all-time highs, we're in price discovery mode. In other words, as a technical trader, we have nothing to the left to be able to make any suggestions as to how the price is going to move from there. Okay. So from the weekly perspective, if, if we have a weekly close above 3,900, for example, even in this week, then there's no more weekly supply on the to the left, which is one of the strongest levels of supply you can have to stop the price. This spike right here will be filled out and we'll have a new all-time high, possibly even by next week. Now, on the 3,900 on the daily time frame, however, there is supply, quite significant areas of supply hanging around in different places. Here is one right here at the 3,900 here. Here is another one right here above, and it ends at, put this here for you, at 4,100, or so 4,123. So I do think that Ethereum can easily smash these targets now that we've broken past most of the resistance to buying up. And to be fair, where we are right now would be a great flip zone trade from the supply. So if I use the H1, and let's make it nice and easy for us, I'll be looking for a break above here, guys, in a continuous. If the price does do a short, then that'll be interesting. But for me, if the body of the candle breaks past supply, then we have a very good scalp from here to here. All right. And that is really it with Ethereum. There's not much more to say, but apart from a long, in my view. And I'm going to pull up XRP, the legend, and let's have a look at what's going on here. So XRP has gently been moving forward. The bullish trend is still holding. I was on the H4 last time, and I did say to you a very important point, and the price is proving it true. We've had this strong area of H4 demand created last week. All right. And you can translate this into what the price is doing now. The body has closed above the H4 session right here, demand, and we've seen a body close strong enough to say that we're back into the demand side of the market instead of supply. So Ripple should be on its way to 150, guys. No questions asked. The price is still balancing close to where it was at 129, 128. And I do expect Ripple to possibly even get us up to 1.65. So again, huge weekend gains are potentially coming to us this week. As you can see, for the moment, the price has re-optimized supply for demand. Being specific here, none of the bodies of the candles have closed beneath this area. The only thing I would have liked to see that I haven't seen yet, which was a little bit of a bummer, is that I would have liked the price to spike back into the demand to pull some of that liquidity from there to give it a stronger movement. So how strong this movement can be, it also is dependent on the market activity, but it would have been nice to have a spike down here, basically. With the body still closing within supply, that would have been an absolute treat, and then we're long. So let's see, guys, what we're going to get over the weekend. I've given you the shot for Bitcoin. Now, on the H1 and above, now we're still navigating on the H1 between many different supply and demand zones. Okay, so I would say I'll use the 30-minute and give you some help here. Now, there's a special type of supply order block being formed right here. And to me, I would use this as my key to get above. So any break and flip above here. So we're looking around about 132. $1.32. Once we get the break and the return here, my suggestion is this will be stop loss beneath the 1.28. Or even if you want to be more strategic with it, you could put your stop loss beneath here, or even actually beneath the zone if you want to have a tighter stop loss. And then the rest is history. We should be on our way for a long. So I would say to you guys, we have a lot of great things coming on the way. It's all about patience and time. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and everybody take care.